Mulan made her debut on the big screen in 1998 and became a classic over the years. The movie was praised because it featured a female character trying to protect her homeland from an evil army. The story is about a fearless warrior who risks everything out of love for her family and her country to become one among the best warriors in China. However, what many of us might not realize is that Mulan does possess certain characteristics related to the psychological disorder, which is atelophobia. Atelophobia is an anxiety disorder in which someone feels like everything they do is wrong. Normally, a person with atelophobia sets a drastic goal in order to achieve some kind of unrealistic result, and feels really bad about themselves when the expectations aren't met. Atelophobia is the fear of not doing something right, or the fear of not being good enough. Quite simply put, it's the fear of imperfection. Persons suffering from this psychological disorder may be often depressed when their perceived expectations do not match reality. This fear of imperfection can inhibit them from doing anything productive at all, because they are afraid they might not do it right and disappoint those around them and themselves. All of these symptoms and traits are reflected in Mulan's behavior. Mulan, as a main character of the movie, is introduced as a free-spirited outcast, a careless girl who is unable to follow rules, regulations, or traditions. Mulan represents a few psychological issues and constant anxiety that causes atelophobia. Despite this, she has a warm heart and she only wants to uphold her family honor while keeping true to herself. Due to these feelings of inadequacy, someone with this disorder often seems like an outcast in society. Mulan doesn't fit in at home, where she's expected to be a submissive wife. She believes that she is not good enough for her family or a husband, and she questions her worth. So, she decides she's going to win back her family's honor. She runs and joins the army to 1. Save her father, but to also find her place in the world. Someone with atelophobia suffers from the fear of never being good enough and believes that everything they do is wrong. Normally, such a person will also set huge goals for himself or herself that he or she knows he or she will never actually achieve. Mulan seems to be insecure of herself. Even while in the army, she thinks she is not good enough as well. She is always tense and unable to relax. Trembling or shaking, increased muscle tension, constant restlessness, nervous mannerisms are also symptoms of atelophobia, reflected in Mulan's actions. Mulan believes that she needs to fit into the perfect role, or her family will be dishonored. She places all the pressure of honor and dishonor on herself. There are a lot of external factors that contributed to her fear of imperfection. The absence of more children in the Fa family is strange when you consider the long-held preference in Chinese culture for male children, which continues even into modern times. Male children have traditionally been preferred, in part as a form of insurance. Being the only child in the family increases the pressure to protect, support, and honor her family. Her anxiety reflects the intensity of her fear of disappointing her father. Constant worrying about upcoming activities is another common symptom of this phobia. Mulan was having difficulties with self-confidence at the beginning of the movie, due to society's mistreatment towards her, as well as the pressures of the society she was born into, particularly in the lives of women. Mulan was considered as an unlucky daughter, always getting into trouble. She was matched to another guy, but the wedding was stopped all because of Mulan's clumsiness. After this, she was scolded enough almost to the point of being dishonored by her family. All of these events contributed to her anxiety and low self-esteem. Throughout the movie, Mulan constantly fumbles and goes out of her way to say and do the right thing. During her time in camp, Mulan's personality takes a shift. She proves to be fierce, both physically and mentally, as well as self-reliant, impressionable, and persistent. Mulan gains more confidence, symbolizing her growth as she becomes more of a mature woman by the third act of the film. She has the ability to perform successful tactics through quick thinking and mental observation. So at the end of the movie, she overcomes her fears and insecurities. Like other specific phobias, atelophobia can be treated with a combination of psychotherapy, medication, and lifestyle changes. Treatments are effective and range from psychodynamic psychotherapy to understand unconscious drivers of the need to be perfect to cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT to change negative thought patterns, and exposure therapy to desensitize the person to failure. It is also important to mention that many of these behaviors are fairly common, which is why it's so essential to understand the difference between everyday behavior and a phobia. Most people can get over their fears fairly quickly. They may not like it, but they're capable of facing them. Atelophobia, however, makes it more difficult to function in society, whether it's an inability to put out work on time or difficulty maintaining relationships. And that's when it may be time to seek help. Check out one of our newest videos here. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more videos about your favorite Disney and Marvel characters and the psychology behind them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.